Morning, sports fans. How are we today on this lovely sunny Sunday in the Netherlands? It's actually the afternoon over here, but what can you say? Thank you very much for tuning in to RVTV. If you haven't been here before, please like, subscribe, and hit the little bell thing down in the right-hand corner, bottom right-hand corner, which is where some of our goals went yesterday, to be informed of the any upcoming shows. Going to touch quite quickly on the Forest match because we did a watch along with Simon and Kev on Wednesday. I didn't actually think while I was watching it, my stream was pretty bad, that we played that badly. But having rewatched quite a bit of it, there was no urgency. Passing again was dreadful. And it just looked like they weren't bothered, which I find a real shame because, you know, it's a competition that we can win. We haven't had any silverware since 2008, which is when we won it the last time. Super Johnny Woodgate, absolutely brilliant header. God, I don't know how I got home from Muswell Hill that night. That was a lively one. So to say I was a little bit disappointed that we went out with a whimper like that is an understatement. So anyway, on to yesterday. Spurs versus Dirty Leeds. Another team that I absolutely can't stand was at Nottingham University back in 1999, surrounded by Leeds fans. And that's one of the reasons that I put up the picture of Mr. Ginola, because he scored an absolute perler against them in the cup. Me and my brother in RKOs. There must have been about 20 Leeds fans around us. One of the blokes who was on my course was a Leeds fan, and he obviously came to find us. It was hilarious. Didn't get violent, which was lucky because we were massively outnumbered. But there was a lot of banter going on, and yeah, we had a good night. Anyway, onto the team. So Loris, Lengley, Dyer, Davis, Perisic, and Royale. At the back, Højbjerg, Bentancur, Richie, Kulu, and Harry up front. Again, we started rather poorly. Emerson Royale. Yeah, sorry, I'm going to dig him out again. Started as he meant to go on with that absolutely dreadful miss from about just outside the penalty area. If you were sitting in Rose Edge, you had to have your crash helmets on for that, because that was pathetic. It's like Bobby Zamora all over again. When the ball hits your head and you sit in Rose Edge, that's Zamora. Unfortunately, that does nothing in there rhymes with Royal, but we could definitely sing that again about him. The defending for their first goal was very, very poor. That Somerville guy has been an absolute revelation, and I think that Leeds picked him up for a pittance. Obviously, living in the Netherlands, they're all raving about him, even though I think he's from Suriname or Curacao. But still, you know, he's their player, and the commentator on the show that I was watching yesterday was massively in Leeds' favour, let's just say. The passing, again, do they not practice that in training? It seems that Emerson Royale pass, when he was just outside their penalty area, well, okay, about 10, 15 metres outside their penalty area, on the right-hand side, had a decent chance for a cross. He knocks it into the middle, straight to a Leeds player. I feel sorry for the guy that he's actually he's spent 100,000 euros, or I don't know how much it is, to become a better footballer. He just, there doesn't seem to be anything there. I heard that someone is interested in signing him. I think it was Juve, actually. He'd probably suit the Serie A better than he does the Premiership, because at the moment he is complete and utter shit. Yeah. So the goal from who was it? So we got an equaliser. Nicely worked goal from, I think it was probably a foul on the goalkeeper by Langley. And for once, VAR actually went in our favour. And it was an absolutely brilliant piece of control by Harry Kane to take it down, take it around the defender, and then in the top corner. It was, brilliant. Really, really, really good. So the first half wasn't really an awful lot to write home about. Second half, taking me back to the 90s when you knew that we couldn't defend for love nor money, but we were always a threat to their goal. The Davis strike, again, he's had a good game. He's usually solid and dependable. Yesterday, he had a really good game, and he was up there with one of our best players yesterday. That probably, it was a bit of a mess up between the goalkeeper and Christensen, who's coming to the World Cup with Denmark. We'll talk more about that a little bit later. But the fact that he was there and he's driving up, and I still rate Davo. I know that there's a lot of people that don't like him, but he is the consummate professional for me, which I will always appreciate. Sanchez came on with Doherty as well, and to be honest, I think Doc changed the match. He took Royale off, and Doc came off, and we were so much more solid down on the right hand side after the 57th minute when he came on. But we were still giving the ball away constantly. It was absolutely shocking. I think that to be honest, sorry, just a moment, I just got a message. Sorry, I missed out the Rodrigo goal in the first half. Again, wasn't good enough defending. They game ahead tennis, and they came out to him on the edge of the area, and it was a nice goal, but again, absolutely rubbish defending. But Kulusevski and Bentancur again taking control of the match. Those two are a little bit special. I'm very surprised that Juve let them go for such little money, and they really have. To be honest, when Kulu was out, we just looked aimless. When he's there, he doesn't have a lot of speed, or he looks like he doesn't have a lot of speed. I suppose he is quite fast, but that ball control and the will to get into the box. If we had 11 players like Kulusevski and Bentancur with their will to win, we would be challenging for the title. Unfortunately, we have some players who are more intent on showing off on Instagram and stuff like that. So it's still a work in progress. All these Conte outers, the football has been a little bit boring. He hasn't been given the tools to do the job. He has had to rely on, I still think that his insistence on playing Royal is a little bit crazy. Doherty can do just as good. Doherty does a better job. Maybe not as solid defensively. And when you've got Dyer and when you've got Dyer and possibly Sanchez playing in the back line, then you do need to play a right wing back who is pretty good defensively. But it's just Kulu, that the second goal from Bentancur, the winner. If you saw that video on Twitter of him, he actually ran off on his own and slid and celebrated, and then got up and hugged Bentancur. That is passion. That's what I want to see. It was like, as I said, in the 90s, we weren't the best team. The defence was, we had Nevercott, we had Kevin Scott, we had David Kerslake. The defence was always pretty dire. Pardon the pun. But they were players who actually tried and gave their all for the badge. Whereas these days, it just seems that there's always a distraction. There's always something, oh, I'm looking at the World Cup. Oh, I just got engaged. Oh, I've done this, I've done that, I've done this. Yeah, fair enough. They did that back then as well, but they still put their bodies on the line for 90 minutes. We need to get players like that again. I want to go to the officiating. The referee, I think, could have sent probably 3 Leeds players off yesterday, and the actual sending off, I didn't really think it was a sending off. I don't think the last challenge was a yellow card, but Rocker on Dyer, he went over the top of the ball and caught him on the side of the leg. And I thought, oh, that's Eric's World Cup out the window. Yellow card. There was an elbow on Kulusevski by Cooper, this Superman captain from Leeds, who is should be an inspiration for all of us. Just another dirty northern bastard, as far as I'm concerned. The ref gave absolutely nothing. Also, with our goal, Longley definitely fouled. It looked like he fouled their goalkeeper. Nothing. He gave the goal. It's just that the officiating is so poor in this league at the moment. I don't know if it's the same anywhere else. I don't really watch a lot of football outside the Premier League. I watch the Championship, but that's only highlights. That's not the full match. So what VAR has just it's ruined the game. It's made referees doubt themselves even more than they did before, and they're scared to make decisions. And then you've got some idiot in a studio who knows how many miles away making the decision for them, which is often, I would say, on the basis of, oh yeah, I was told that I wasn't very good by this manager, so yeah, I'm going to disallow that goal for that team. Rodney, last goal, absolutely brilliant. I've got a new song for him, which is absolutely terrible. So please tune out if you don't like my singing voice. But we've got Rodney, Super Rodney. Just don't think you understand. He came from Turin. He always knocks them in. We got Super Rodney. And by the way, that's trademarked now, so don't use it. Thank you very much. So, yeah, there were 2 people watching. I think that's dropped down to 1 now. So, man of the match. This was actually a pretty tough one for me. Kulusevski, obviously, absolutely brilliant. Bentancur, absolutely brilliant. But then there's my man, Davo. And I think that he's probably pipped it. So I'm gonna go for him. I hope he has a great World Cup. Obviously, being of half Danish, half English extraction. Not sure that I can really support him against England. But it's great to. I was listening to 5 Live on Friday, and they were in Wrexham, and the buzz in Wales is just amazing. I know a lot of people who, sod Scotland, sod Wales. I've met loads of lovely Welsh people. I've spent most of my youth holidays in Scotland. I think they're wonderful people. And I hope that Wales do themselves proud. So, this World Cup sham. I, for one, am actually going to watch it. As I've told many people, when they say why you should be boycotting it, well, they're not telling me I should be boycotting it, but they're saying that they're going to boycott it. life is short. Denmark don't get to many World Cups. We've got a decent team. Last championship in the Euros, we reached the semi-finals. I'm not saying we're going to do that again this championship, but I love watching the national team. I love seeing the passion that they have for playing for Denmark. Little country, 5 million people, have produced some pretty special players in the last 100 years or so. So I'm very much looking forward to the first match, I believe, is against Tunisia. Then it's Australia and then France. We struggled against Australia in the last World Cup. Don't know why we keep getting drawn against them. Probably something to do with kangaroos or something. But I fancy our chances. Tunisia, not great. Australia, not great. France, we beat them at their place in the Nations League. We have a team spirit with Denmark at the moment that is something I haven't seen since 1992 probably, and then 86 before that. 86 was the best World Cup for me, even though I was only 10 years old. Preben Elkjær, Michael Laudrup, Søren Lerbout, it was something special. But I can understand why you want to boycott it. The English team, I think, is pretty terrible. Southgate, again, has done his magic. Hasn't picked so many right-backs this time, but taking players that have been injured most of the season and have hardly played. Not taking Ivan Toney, which he gave a massive middle finger to Southgate yesterday against City. Looks like City are really wanting to hand that title to Arsenal at the moment, which is going to be unbearable. But I don't think he'll be manager after this championship. I think they need some new blood. I think they need someone who is... He wasn't particularly successful at club level. I don't think he picks the right players, but obviously in the Euros, those players, England should have won something by now. They have got, it's another golden generation. And the fact that they lost to the Italians was not a surprise to me. They're a lot like Tottenham Hotspur. They don't have the bottle. When it comes down, push comes to shove, it just doesn't happen for them. Anyway, that's the rant for today. On Remembrance Sunday, I'd like to give a big shout out to Dave McGarry, his brother Tony, who unfortunately is no longer with us. God rest his soul, and all the other veterans that I know or have met and didn't realise that they were a veteran. It's a pretty emotional day for me, even though I never served. But I saw what it's done to a lot of people, and it's you can imagine how frightening that was going over the top in the First World War. I wouldn't have been able to do it. That is, as Grandad said on Only Fools and Horses, that kind of courage is something that will put you right off your victory dinner. Also, I'd like to say RIP to Johnny Darville, one of my mates when I was a youngster. Died at the age of, I believe, 46, same as me. Gone far too young, an amazing player. Only a little guy, but what a winger he was. He was a footballer out of the top drawer. I haven't been in contact with him for years. I think the last time I saw him was in the White Lion when he was playing for a Sunday League team against the White Lion. But I have very special memories of driving around in his Jeep all over the place down Chesham, Home Green. So rest in peace, Johnny. But I'd also like to say happy birthday to Mr. Steve Davis, 7 times world snooker champion. He wishes. No, that's my mate, Steve Dave, my best mate. And I hope you have a great day. So it's coming up to the World Cup. I think I'm going to do a few shows in regards to Denmark and probably England as well, and maybe a little bit on Wales. If you are not going to watch the thing, then tune in. Come on, we'll have a chat, whatever. Yeah. So come on, you Spurs. Can't smile without you. You'd army.